Anyways, what I thought I wanted to do today was actually use this guy, the RX-7 that I put together. So some of you guys may have seen that in one of if you guys have been keeping up with my Let's Play series, which by the way you most certainly should. There's some cool stuff happening. In my Let's Play series, I figured out the best way to drift. So I wanted to showcase that with you guys and sort of show you guys how I did it and things like that. So let's get in this car. Actually, before I do, I just want to probably run through the upgrades and things like that. Talk about the little car that I prefer to drift with. You can do it with any car. We just got to build something that can sort of emulate this in some sort of way. But I'm running 661 horsepower. That's not too bad. 0 to 60, 3.0 seconds. And then rear-wheel drive, fairly lightweight car. And I'm just, you can pause, take a look at these upgrades. Majority of stuff is all race, but I also didn't go crazy with it and toss on huge amounts of horsepower. Things that I did do, though, that are key: action nitrous, the big turbo, and drift tires. Best drift tires I could have gotten. I think those were the ones at the time. I can go for higher ones, but those ones are just fine. Then I toss on things like the suspension, the diff, and the brakes and handbrake and sway bars. Those things basically you can toss on, so then you can adjust them when you're tuning. So anyways, after we've done that, head over to handling, and this is what I prefer to run with. For my drift car, you guys can, again, copy this if you feel like, but this is what I choose to run with. Always lock diff, that's always good. But here's the thing. Drift cars, although they're meant to slide a lot, you do also want to have a lot of grip at the same time. Essentially what you're trying to do is grip your way sideways through the corner. That's all you're trying to do. So there you go. Like I said, you guys can copy that down. I like to run, usually, if you use the big slider, just put it, like, not all the way to drift, because that's just too crazy and you won't have enough grip. If you go somewhere around here, I would say, what is that, like 30% away from fully drift, you should be okay. But yeah, this is what I like to run with for my car. The car itself can be pretty much anything that's front engine, rear drive. Anyways, I'm going to head out of here, and I'm going to show you guys how I drift. Anyway, so I'm going to head up into the mountains over here. These are my favorite drift roads up here. So we can actually be the target with Risky Devil. Why don't we just go and do that? Yeah, let's just go and do that. And I'll show you guys how I drift. It's probably not going to be the best, because there's going to be a bunch of other people around, but I'll get the point across, essentially. How to drift in Need for Speed. Once you've got your car, you will find yourself fairly slidey. What the majority of people try to do when they drift is come into the corner, press X, counter steer, and then things like that. They'll also, like, tap the brake, because there's, like, brake tapping, so you can sort of, like, tap the brake and you drift like that. That's a good way. That's a good way. But I've found an even better way to drift. So, here's what I found. You can totally do this, and it's just fine. But what I like to do, my secret strategy, hold the nitrous down the entire time. I'm still holding nitrous down. For whatever reason, it makes your car a lot less grippy than it should be. What it does is lets you do things that you're not supposed to do. It sort of freaks the game out a little bit and does things that you're not supposed to be able to do. So you can sort of see if I was able to get off the freaking wall and the stupid thing got off my screen. Here, cool. There we go. Okay, so now we're back in the thing. We can get some points. Once we're back here, you can see how well and how just easily it slides. It freaks out the game if you're constantly holding the nitrous down. I have the Elite controller, right? So it's right on the back. I use it as a paddle, as my nitrous. So I just hold my controller. I essentially just squeeze my controller the entire time I'm driving. And that makes it so my car is constantly very slidey. But what it does is sort of freaks out the game a little bit and does things that you shouldn't be able to do, really. That's what it does. That's what it does. I'm not sure exactly what it does in terms of, like, the physics of the game and things like that. But whatever it does, it freaks out the game, and you can drift a hell of a lot easier. You can totally go into the corner. Everyone's calling me a hacker. You can totally go into the corner and just hold X and be like, or like tap X and just drift around the corner like a normal person. But if you hold it, I don't know what it does. It just freaks the game out, and you get a lot less grip. And it's really, it's just really easy to drift, if you ask me. I should probably catch up to the group, or I'm not going to pass this mission. The only thing is when you are holding this, so what I'm doing, full power, and I'm braking at the same time. Like, I just tap the brake for a second. Tap the brake, tap the handbrake, and I never let off of the gas. That's what I'm doing, and then I just flick it in. I just flick it in. I'm like not even steering really. It's just really just flick it in and the game does the other stuff. If you did do the same like handling tuning as I did, there's a lot of assists in the game that help you stay sideways, so hey, it's not too bad at all. Just use the nitrous, catch up to everyone, and then I'm just holding it down. I'm still holding the nitrous down. Holding nitrous down, the power down, everything like that. And it works just fine. It's kind of unfair. Nick is a hacker, he should be reported. The only thing is that with this, you tend to run out wide a lot. You'll notice that in my Let's Play series, a lot of the time I run out wide a lot. That's why I usually complain about the wall tapping thing, because you run out wide so freaking much. You tap the wall and you lose your points. I don't know, there are probably other ways to drift that are even better, but I found this way to be the best. If you go back and you watch my best car in Need for Speed video, I drifted a big Lamborghini. It was an Aventador, and the thing was just fine. So for sure, it's probably easier to do with certain cars than others. But you can drift a Honda Civic front engine, front wheel drive, and everything like that, or you can totally drift things that are mid-engine all wheel drive. It doesn't really matter. The game's sort of not really a simulator, so you can get away with drifting just about anything. Anyways, let's do one more. Try it out with no people, so I don't really have to worry about my points or anything like that. And we're just gonna tap the brake, tap X at the same time. And this is where the problem comes in. Because I never really let off the power, I tend to run really, really wide. You can see that happening now that you guys sort of know what I'm doing. Like I said, I never told anyone in my Let's Play series what I was doing. I just said I found the best way to drift. That's what I was doing. I was just holding it down the entire time. And because you never let off, it makes you run out wide a lot. Like, you have to initiate fairly early, or you will run out too wide. You'll hit the wall tap, and you'll lose your points. But it's easy. It's easy to drift. Traffic. But yeah, you can totally let off on the gas and get a little extra boost of nitrous if you need it to get around the corner, things like that. But I've just found when you hold the nitrous down throughout the corner, like I'm holding it down the entire time, it's not on, but it's doing things to the car. I don't know what it's doing, but it just makes your car a little bit less grippy, a little bit easier to drift in. If you ask me, I think it's the best way to drift in this game. Nick's MLG Pro Need for Speed 420 just plays. It's just cheating, basically. I don't know what it does to the game. It might get patched at some point, but for right now, at least, I think it's the best way to drift in this game.
This is dumb.
Well, I swallowed like half of the two was left.